Influence. Influences. I think about them all the time. What can I do? What are they showing me? I'm like staring into the dark. I'm seeing them. I'm hearing them. I tell people, what are your influences? I tell people, the guys I'm supposed to care about, like Sarah and Albert Paley and David Smith, whatever. They don't matter. Well, I like them, but that's not it. That's not it. But I say they are, because people can get their heads around that without working too hard. Which is the opposite of my work, which is I make it so that people can't have a clue, And what do they do? What is this? And it's like, sorry, you got to figure it out for yourself. Lana Del Rey, I listen to her on repeat. Caravaggio, Haruki Murakami. This guy Rocky Vodolato, he's a singer. There's this woman on Instagram. She dyes cloth. She gets this cloth and she dyes this cloth by herself, and her name's Hannah Fries, and it's like all ruched really tight into these fabulous masses, and I can't stop looking at them. There's this prof here. I never met her, but I looked at her videos, Lorena Molina, and she does performance. There's this one of this guy's head's coming in like that, and this woman's head's coming in like that. It's her head. I mean, she's right there. It's her. She does this, and she opens her mouth, and he opens his mouth, and water pours from his mouth into her mouth, and then stop. And then he's on the bottom, and she comes in on the top, and he opens his mouth, and she opens her mouth, and water pours from her mouth into his mouth. And I'm like, what can I say? I mean, there's nothing I can say. Force. For me, it's all about force. It's about, I can't do anything right now because this piece of art owns me. I just found out about Richard Long, and that's last century's news, but I'm out here on Pluto doing my shit and I don't know. I was flipping through this book. It was a book like recipes for paint and how to pour plaster and all that kind of stuff. It was it's a good book, but it just didn't have the how-to that I needed. So I'm flipping through this book, and there's nothing and nothing, and nothing. And then there's this little picture up in the corner. It's like a white circle with some splatters coming off it, and it was really tiny. It didn't matter. But here I got it. Well, as you can see, I went for it. But there it is. You can see that it's a white splatter, white circle with the splatters coming off it. This is actually, you can see how big it is. See the little people down there? This thing's 60 feet tall. And this little picture, I saw that, and yeah, whatever, but to me it was a shotgun. I was like, who's that? I want to see more of that. Richard Long was giving me permission. He does these walks that are art that I don't know how they're art because I don't get it. They're kind of ritualistic and they're beautiful in that way. But I don't get it. While he's on these walks, though, he does things he makes circles out of rocks, and he drags his feet, and he makes shapes, and he makes lines. And then the thing I saw a picture, all this gallery stuff. It was mud and circles and rocks, and he makes rock shapes on the floor, all that together. It's always the same. It's always the same stuff he does, and it's always intensely different. It's from God. You can't stop looking. It's not like I haven't seen rocks. I mean, Andy Goldsworthy. I love Andy Goldsworthy, but I didn't get it. And then Anselm Kiefer, who, wow, I was really into him for a while, but I didn't get it. And then there's this guy. This guy, he made this thing called City. He has the big rock at LACMA. Michael Heiser. He's still really a god for me. And his buddy Smithson, they do rocks and dirt and shapes. And I mean, I should have got it, but I didn't get it. But now Richard Long comes along, and in a little picture, in a book that I was just flipping through, and bam, mud, bam, it's art. Well, it's not it. It's not it. It just is. A door opens, and there he is, and he says, "Come on in." Dirt and rocks and mud and chaos and order all together. And I'm like, well, order and chaos, I like that. I'm into that. But then, I mean, really, I mean, he has this beautiful way of mushing the chaos and order together. And it's like so simple and so beautiful and so elegant. And it's his life. And it just flows, and he can't not do that. I never saw that before. I desperately needed to see that, but I didn't know I needed to see it because I didn't know it was, that it could be that you were allowed to do that. All those years, he's been doing this stuff getting 30 years now. And I'm like just making stupid shit, and I didn't know that I could do that. But now I have permission. Now I'm in a world where that is, and I'm allowed to do that. I probably, will put mud and rocks in my stuff, and it'll be shitty, and I'll be like, and I'll keep at it though. I might get it to work, or maybe I won't. But it's still there, It's like this guardian angel behind my work. It's like he's this guardian angel or something. That's permission. Influence is permission. So that's the long way around to what everybody already knew, and who am I, But that's how I work. It's like these loving gatekeepers, and they really, really want me to come in. They really want me to get it and just come in and see it and feel it and just glow if I would just look their way and just shut up a minute.